Okay, so the game plan today is to create a wheel and tire rack on this wall behind me, so that way I can store all my wheels and tires. Because right now we have 3 sets of wheels and tires on the ground, so we're gonna mount it up on the wall so it doesn't take as much space and it's out of the way. Here's the wood we're gonna be using, which are 12-foot pieces of 2x4. This is one of the longest lengths of 2x4 you can get, so hopefully we can create a massive 12-foot wheel and tire rack. First things first though, which is I need to clear away this entire area of stuff so we can actually work on the wall that we're mounting it on. 1, 2, and there we go. So we got this area pretty clean now, and we can actually start measuring up our wood and cutting out the little shelf. To start off, we're going to want to measure how tall the stack of tires is, or wheels, that we're going to be putting up on that shelf. So for me specifically, these are 18 by 9.5 NKTSB 5s. These are one of the wider wheels that I run, and this stack is only about 42 inches tall. Now I want some extra leeway in there, and then overall the width of the 2x4 is 12 feet. So this is just right under 4 feet, so we'll probably do 3 sets of wheels on this rack, giving 48 inches to each set of wheels. Then we're going to be measuring how tall the actual tire is like this, right? And that way we can figure out how far the shelf needs to be spaced off from the wall. So this is about 25 inches. It's running a 225 40/18. That's about like the limit of how tall, because I mean this is already like a pretty thick sidewall. So I don't think any tire I'm going to be running is going to be taller than 26 inches. So if I do 28 inches, I should have more than enough room. It's a little hard to see the entire length of the woods because it's so long, but basically we're going to be creating a box over here, and that's going to be our base plate, I guess you would say, for where we're going to put all of our wheels. Based off our measurements over there, the width that we want this piece to be is 28 inches, so that way we have enough room for our entire wheel to sit here and not touch the wall. So we got to cut out a piece of wood over here to make this width 28 inches. Now, contrary to popular belief, a 2x4 is not actually 2 inches by 4 inches, it's actually 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So, because there's 1.5 inches here, 1.5 inches over here, we're going to make a piece over here that is 25 inches, so that way our overall length is 28 inches. So let's get to doing that. We got exactly 25 inches, and it's just a matter of cutting. Nice, 2 clean pieces of wood now. Here's our 2 pieces that we'll be screwing in right here. Since we're now going to be screwing the wood together, I'm going to quickly go over what pilot hole size you should be using for your wood. I'm not super big into construction things with wood, but anyways, so we have these wood screws right here. They're number 8 size. So we're going to go to our wood screw pilot hole size, boltdepot.com. You can just search wood screw pilot hole size. So here we have a number 8. Now we're not drilling to hardwood. In general, 2x4s are usually softwood, so we're going to do softwood. These are straight bits, not tapered. So straight bit, we're going to need a 7/64 inch pilot for a number 8 screw. So we can go over here. So we have a 7/64 inch bit, and now we're drilling all of our pilot holes with this, and then screwing in our wood screw. But anyway, so I have a corner clamp on the back over here, which is holding it at a 90-degree angle, and I've also double checked it with a square as well to make sure it was at a 90-degree. Now we'll go drill our pilot. I'm going to be doing 2 screws per area. That's this one joint done. Gotta move to the next one. Here is the base for our wheel and tire rack. The base is good, but obviously there's a problem now, because even though the tire wheel is right there, you can just slip the base right through it, right? Because we designed it to be wider than the tire, so that way it doesn't hit the wall or anything. So that's why what we need to do next is put some 2x4s in the center here, so that way when you actually put the wheel and tire there, it rests on the 2 inner 2x4s, and it actually stays on your rack and doesn't fall through. So what you need to figure out next is what is going to be the width of the inner beams running inside here that's going to be holding your wheels and tires. Now, for me personally, I've never run anything smaller than a 15-inch wheel. So, let's say I just call a little bit on the safe side. I'm going to go with a 14-inch inner width over here between the 2 2x4s that I'm going to be placing. So I'm going to have the 14-inch gap. I'm going to have 1.5 inches for one 2x4, 1.5 inches for another 2x4, so we're at 17 inches now. And remember, the total width was 25, so 25 minus 17, we're looking at 8 inches worth of 2x4 that needs to go over here to span it. And then of course you got 2 sides, that means a 4-inch piece and a 4-inch piece. Ignore the math, but I'm going to cut up a whole bunch of 4-inch pieces of 2x4 to put in over here right now. Here's my 8 4-inch pieces of 2x4, and now I've marked out every 2 feet, so I'm going to go and screw these in from the outside all along. So I actually just realized that I mismeasured. I should have had 5 supports per side, not 4. So I'm gonna go cut 2 more up and then, yeah, complete it. That was the last of it. Here are all the little supports put in place. Seeing that we have the majority of our base done, the last 2 pieces that really need to get cut and put in here are the 2 12-foot or just under 12-foot 2x4s to run along this length. An uncut 12-foot section goes all the way to the tip, and of course we're going to want this on the inside, so we're going to have to subtract 1.5 inches here and 1.5 inches on the opposite side. So we're going to need to take 2 of our 12-foot sections and cut 3 inches off. That way it'll fit on the inside. So let's do that right now. Let's test fit them. Now let's go get our wheel and tire. Sweet. I mean, that's basically it as far as the base goes. Now comes the hard part of actually mounting it on the wall. Also, make you know is that because of this back piece of 2x4 right here is going to get screwed into the wall, we can't actually put this support on until after this frame is up and screwed in over here, because otherwise we're not going to be able to reach all the screws. But once it's up there, then we can go and put this piece up and drill it in and then screw it on. So we're mounting at the wall. We're going to have the base piece over here, which we're going to be putting our tires at a little bit lower level than our little support with our chain. So we're actually going to be having a chain go right here and hook onto here, and then attached to another 2x4, which is going to be bolted up on the wall a little bit higher. So what I'm going to do is figure out how high I want this, and then add my 27 or so inches on top, and then bolt up another 2x4 onto the wall. It may sound a little confusing right now, but let's just get to work, and then you'll see how everything comes together at the end, and you'll see what I'm saying. So within the bubble is within 2 lines, so. So we have the top support wood screwed into the wall now, and so what we can do is start hanging the lower one, which is even going to be more difficult. Moving on to the whole support system with the chains. So I got the chain over here, and I also have the anchor shackle right there, which we're going to be using on both ends in order to disconnect and connect the chain. Then we also have our hooks. These ones are rated for 180 pounds, and there's going to be 4 of them here, so 180 pounds, 4 of them. Looking at 720 pounds worth of rating in the hooks, which should be good for the wheels. Chain is also good for that amount of weight. Anyways, let's start assembling this. Four hooks in on the bottom. I'm gonna match them up to the same points on the top 2x4 and screw them in. So now we got the 4 top hooks done. And now we're gonna put in the one side of 2x4 bracing because it seems to be easier. So we only have one to bolt up when it's up there. That brace is bolted up, so we'll go hang it and then screw it into the wall and attach the other brace.
Push them. That shit is sketchy as.
We got this screwed in. We're gonna put last support in. You can tap out. Whoop, whoop. Nice.
I tried to pull myself up to do noise.
This thing was a real big pain to get hung up, but it's finally up there. Oh yeah, nice. So we have two screws, all along there going to basically every stud that we can find. Of course, got that hooked up. Finally put this top piece on, as you can see, because there's no way we could tighten the screws with this support on, so we have to put this support on when it's actually up there. So, all right, let's go stack some wheels on it, see if it holds up to the test, dude.
Ready?
What the f was that?
I don't know, but I don't think that's a good idea. Which means we put 680 pounds on it, and it started ripping out of the wall.
Basically. So let me show you. This side over here. So this side is pulling out, which that we knew wasn't in a stud, but right there, that was supposed to be in a stud, and that's clearly pulling out. And I don't know, I wouldn't give that one much hope either. And then moving on over here, this one started pulling out as well. And the thing is like, this place, honestly, like the walls are just crooked, so it's like, do you see how like crooked the pegboard ends up being? It's just like, there's like legit a wave in the wall. So even when we put the 2x4 against the wall already, we knew that there's like a bow in it, but I don't know, something was just weird. And then finding the studs were hard too. It was so random. Something just doesn't make sense about this wall. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think about this, but I honestly think that if we would have had a actual straight wall to work on, this would have worked perfectly fine. But I also think this is a pretty good setup as far as a tire and wheel shelf, and if you just wanted to have one set in your house and you had some nice walls, it would work out well. And also you can put some mesh here or another piece of wood here or something, and then you can actually have like little cubbies, so you could put your like lug nut key in there, or you know, extra lug nuts, all that sort of stuff, and just kind of do that. So yeah, hopefully you guys found this video helpful in some way, shape, or form. You can possibly implement it in your garage space. But on this one, I guess we're gonna have to end up doing something else, not this. Wish me luck. Also, if you have any comments about this design or any improvements to it, please leave it in the comments, so that way if anyone clicks on this video in the future and wants to use it as a reference, they can go check down in the comments for any improvements to the setup, and that way they can implement that. Anyways, I'll see you guys later, and I'm gonna stop standing under this because it's my fault.